Like this is.
Yeah, okay. So here, not this one, they're coming over here. So what are the access controls available inside a Java? We are having a public, private, and protected, as well as the default. Default in the sense, if we didn't mention anything before the data variable name, so we call it as a default access control. Okay. So at the time of a programming, you will get a clear idea about how you are going to use a public, private, as well as a protected. So there is no need to worry that much. Okay. So Java is a very easy language. You can understand very easily and you can get a good score in this examination. Okay. So what is a declaration of a variable? How you are going to declare that? The syntax is the access control. What is the access control? It should be like public or private or protected. Okay. And then the type name. This is the type in the sense, what is the type? What is the data type you are going to use? You are going to use a primitive data type over here. How many primitive data types are available? There are 8 primitive data types available in Java. Okay, there are 8 primitive data types available in Java. What is a data type? Only a single and have no special capabilities. It is only for the declaration. At the time of a declaration of a variable, we are using this data types. These are a primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types available in Java. In the sense of, let me share you this, you will get an idea about, yeah. So as per the need is allocated. So as per the need in the sense, what is the type, I mean, how much amount of a memory we are going to store. Based on that, we are going to use these data types. Okay. So there are 8. First of all, we are going to discuss a byte, short, int, and a long. All these are belongs to whole numbers. Whole numbers in the sense from minus to plus, everything will be in that case. So every whole number, if you want to use in your program, you are going to use all these 4 only. So if there are real numbers, what are the real numbers? If there is any decimals available inside your value, you are going to use a float and double. Only these 2 data types you are going to use, and make sure that primitive data types is always starts with a small letter. And I'm going to tell you again, primitive data type is always starts with a small letter only. You should not mention a capital letter over here. If you mention a capital letter over here, it will become a class. That was somewhat different. It should be starts with a small letter. So initially, if you have a whole numbers, you have to use only these 4 primitive data types. If you are having a decimal values, you are going to use these 2 data types. In the sense of a char, which is inside a single quotations. The last class I already shown it to you. In the sense of a single character, if you want to use that inside inside your program, you are going to take within a single quotes. It is a single character in between a single quotes. Okay, what is a Boolean? Boolean consisting of 2 values, whether it is a true or a false. Sometimes it may be null. That doesn't matter. Sometimes it may be null. If you declared over there inside your program and you are not using that, initially the null value will be stored inside this. So each and everything having some initial values. So byte in the sense it consisting of a 0. The initial value is 0. If you didn't mention anything, if you didn't initialized the variable by using this type of data type, it will be 0. And for this also 0.0. This is 0.0, this is a 0. The initial values are zeros, this one, and this is a 0.0. And this for the character itself, it's a null. And for the Boolean itself, we are having a null over here. Okay. So don't get confused. Only 8 primitive data types are available in Java. So now, let me show you. I will discuss non-primitive data types later because in this context, we are going to use only this one. Okay, there are 2 types of data types. One is a primitive data type, another one is a non-primitive. In the sense of a primitive data types, we are having 8. So we are going to discuss this right now, not the primitive data type. Okay. And next one is, what is the program structure of a class? So each and every Java program starts with a class only, because this is a purely object oriented programming. A Java application consisting of a collection of a classes. So Java consisting of Java application in the sense that you're going to build an application for the software industry, right? So we will call that as an application, the browser. The browser in the sense Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox. So each and every browser is an application. So Windows Office, the Word, the Excel, the Access database, each and everything is an application only. So that consisting of a collection of a classes. So each and every program consisting of each and every application consisting of collection of a classes. The class is a template. So when you are going to use a Word document, suppose open a Word document. So initially what it will ask, can't you choose a template? Template in the sense whether it is a resume or it is a form or it is a table or what all the things are available already. Default templates are available inside the Microsoft Office Word. So similar to that, we consider the class as a template. We consider class as a template, which is a default already available. Template in the sense already available. Then we are going to use that and we are going to modify that. Okay. Next, an object is defined as the instance of a class. So this is a class. If you want to access this class, we are going to use an object. So we are going to create an object for the class. So inside in CPP classes are available. I think you already familiar with that also. Okay, if you don't have that much, you don't have that much touch over there, then I'm going to tell you about this. Okay, there is no need to worry. So we are going to access the class methods or a variables by creating an object for the specific class. If the class name is addition, and we are going to create that object by using the addition class. Okay, I'm going to tell you that inside an example. Each instance in the sense an object contains the members. What are the members? Fields in the sense of variables or some other statements, etc. And methods in the sense in C language we'll call it as a functions and methods both are same. So the methods consisting of a parameters or an arguments or parameters both are same, specified in the class. So the instant contains what is, when you are going to create an object for the class, what the class consisting of, everything will be available inside an object. You can't directly access a class without an object. So that we are going to create an object for that, and each and everything, what are all the things available inside a class is going to access over here only with the single object of the specific class. That's it. And how it will be, consider this, the name of the class is an example.java. Every time you have to remember that what is a starting letter of the class, it should be a capital letter. It should be a capital letter. It must a capital letter. So inside a primitive data types, we are having a small letter. It starts with a small letter. Here inside a class, this is the declaration of a class. We'll call it as a declaration of a class. There is a keyword called class. And then the name of the class. This is user defined. You can take on your own according to the situation you are using for the application. If this is the addition program, mention like capital A, DDTION, like that. So I'm going to take the example.java. So I'm going to take the name of the class as EXAMPLE. This is user defined, predefined. You know about that, right? User defined in the sense according to the user what he want to wish. If he wishes to do something, that is a user defined. Predefined in the sense already available. Class is already available. A keyword is already available inside a Java. That's why this is a predefined keyword. It's already available. And this is a user defined name. We are going to choose on our own. Okay. And next. Okay. If you have any doubts, I will give you 5 minutes at the end of the session. Okay, that was the same as, okay, we are not going to discuss the functions right now. Just is a structure of the class. Okay, there is no need to worry. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this is a keyword and this is a user defined name, what we are going to do now. And next, in the last class, I said about the comments. What are all the comments available inside a Java? There are three types of a comments. This is one of the multi-line comment. So it starts with a forward slash and there is an asterisk over here and the comment what you are going to write, and then asterisk and there is a forward slash. This is a multi-line comment. This is a single line comment. You are having a forward slashes and this is only a single line comment. In the sense of a descriptive comment, already said that. Just again, I'm going to tell you about that one. There is no need to worry. Okay. Descriptive comment starts with the forward slash and there are two asterisks. If it is a single asterisk and ends with a single asterisk, where is that? Yeah. It is a multi-line comment. Okay, this is multi-line comment. Sorry. Okay, now this is a single line comment. Okay, and next there is a descriptive comment over here. There is a forward slash and two asterisks and then press enter like this. So even each and everything, there is no need to worry about this, like this only. So this is a descriptive comment. What the descriptive comment consisting of? At the rate. So you can mention who is the author for this program. So like I'm Muni. So this is the author and the description of this application. What is this program is going to tell? This is telling about all about at, sorry, okay, shift at the rate, descript. Sorry, this is a description. I'm going to mention it. Yeah, it's okay. This is about data types. Yeah, so this is what we are doing over here. We have to write. So one more I'm going to tell you, if you are going to the IT field, it is essential to mention the comments inside a program. So and one more thing I want to tell you, suppose if there is any project is going on inside your organization, consider it as a TCS. Okay, TCS consisting of one project. So there you are going to work on one project like some other project. Okay, so if you are working and the middle of the project, because of some issues, you have to stop the project. So the manager said to stop the project. Again, thus that client, who is the client? So if I'm asking you to do the project, I'm the client. So I'm asked you to stop the project and I'm going to give that project to another people. So the progress of the project will be identified by the other programmers by using these descriptions only. Otherwise, he can't understand what you wrote in your program. He came to know that by these descriptions, what you did in this program, you have to mention with a few lines. Okay. Don't forget to mention a comment. If you are interested in the IT industry, I'm not telling about the EC, the mechanical and the civil people. I mean, EC people are having some chip designs. I don't know whether it's based on your interest. If you want to move to the IT industry, it is essential to know about the comments. You have to tell about each and everything what this program is going to do. Okay. Again, I'm going to share my PPT. So see this one. So this is a single line comment. This is a multi-line comment. So here starts with the program always starts with the public static void main. So why we need this? The program starts with this, the compiler, what they wrote, they said like each and every program starts with the main method. Each and every program starts with the main method. So that we have to use a main over here, which is a keyword. This is also a keyword. And public is an access control, static. Static in the sense within the class. There are two types we are going to discuss inside the program. One is a static, and the one is a dynamic. Dynamic in the sense at the time of a runtime. So at the time of a runtime, we are going to use the values and we are going to provide that. But in the sense of a static, this is already predefined. You are going to declare at the time of a compilation only. So in that sense, we are going to use a static keyword. There are so much we have to discuss about the static keyword. There is a particular topic inside your syllabus. You will understand the complete overview of a static keyword. Okay. In this over here, just think like static in the sense other than dynamic. Okay. Only think in that way. And void is the return type. So inside your C language, at the time of a main function, before that, we are going to tell the return type for the main method. What is the return type for the main method? I'm not going to return anything. It is a void only. Okay. And there is a string argument. These are a command line based arguments. If you want to pass a values at the time of a runtime, directly you can call those values. And there is also another example for this. I'm going to tell you in detail about that. And one more thing I'm mentioning you over here, how the compiler is going to know whether this is the main method or not. The compiler say and came to know that if you mention a string arguments that is a single and one dimensional array, then only compiler came to know that this is a main method. If you didn't mention anything in between the braces, you that compiler doesn't recognize this as a main method, so that it must be declared. It must be declared as a string arguments in between the braces inside a main method. Okay, don't forget this. Simply I'm saying the main method is recognized by the compiler by using this string arguments only. This is compulsory. So according to the programmers, what they did in Java. So there are so many main methods inside our program. You can declare so many main methods, but only the main method having a string arguments will be recognized first by the compiler. Okay, there is no need to worry. What is the statement for the, to printing the values? So inside a CPP or a C language, inside a CPP, we are having a C out. C out in the sense we are going to print the values. So in the same sense, we are having system.out. System in the sense that it is going to consider it is a class name which is available inside a Java, and there should be an out which is also available inside a system. System.out. So this is a common thing. And then print ln. Print ln in the sense print in the next line. Ln. Ln in the sense a line. So it is going to print the next line. You will get a good idea about the this example. Okay. Well, now in Java it is asking for the Oracle account. Okay, each and every person is having some problems. I'm going to tell you about that. Okay, there is no need to worry. I'll give you 5 minutes at 10 o'clock, right? Okay, before 10, I'm going to ask you if you have any doubts. I will clear each and everything. There is no need to worry. You will get each and everything. Okay, there is no need to write in the chat box. Okay, yeah. So what are all the things you are going to print? It should be in between the double quotes. This is a double quote because this is a string value. This is a string value. This is not a character. If it is a character, you are going to mention it in the single quotations. If it is a string, you have to mention within a double quotations. Okay. So the system.out is a predefined, already available inside Java. If you want to print anything, it should be through this system.out only. And there should be a print ln. Print ln in the sense ln is a line. And what are all the things you want to print, you want to display, it should be in between the double quotes. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the example of class. Okay, I'm not going for the tool itself. Now I'm going to write in a command notepad, and then I'm going to tell you how you are going to run it manually. Okay, I'm going to take this better. And one thing I want to tell you, Notepad++ is a very advanced version. Go to the, type like in your Google search, like download Notepad++. which is very easy for you to write the programs. Our notepad built by the Microsoft, it is like somewhat, it won't show that much like, so let me show you that. Notepad. Where is the notepad? Yeah. So here, see this one. If this is a notepad built by the Microsoft, if I want to write a program, let me take it as a public access specifier, right? Public, public class keyword, and then example. Okay. See this one. When I clicked on this, there is no colors and there is no identification of the particular values and all. So Notepad is not good for the programming point of view. Just go for the Notepad++, which is available. Search in a Google, like download Notepad++. Just install in your PC, which is good for you in some conditions to, for the so many data types. Sorry, JSON files. JSON in the sense that was different. Let me show you this. I want to close this one. Don't save. Okay. Yeah, which is very easy for you. Sorry, this is XML files. So in the sense of XML files, if you want to maximize or minimize by using control buttons, you can easily do this. See this one, it is easily identified, like all these tags are like a red in color and these are a blue, a blue in color or a purple, whatever it is. And this is a Java file. So it consisting of a statements, each and every, see this one, public is like a violet color, and extends, this is a one of the keyword, and this is a private access like this. So you can easily identify what are all the things available inside Java. Like, so for the programming point of view, Notepad++ is good. If you are interested, install it, or else it's your wish. Okay, let me go further. Now I'm going to write a first public static, sorry, public class. This is a keyword. And then the name of the class is example. Okay. So here I'm going to write a main method, public static void main. It consisting of a string, capital letter. The string should be a capital letter. Okay. String, and there is a braces A or GS. This is a user defined. You can write on your own, like R or something else. It's your own. Because of these are the arguments. That's why I mentioned the name. Okay. And then it starts with the brace and ends with the brace, and enter. Now I'm going to print system dot out dot print line, and in between the quotations, like this is the first Java program. Okay. Okay, it ends with a semicolon. So I want to store this inside a folder. Let me create a folder over here on my desktop. First of all, EC. Okay, EC. So I already created a folder on my desktop. Let me save this, Control S. I'm going to the desktop. EC. Okay. The name should be Java file, right? What is the name we mentioned over here? Example. So with the same name, you have to save the file. Example.java. Okay. So after saving it, see the names are changed. The colors of the keywords has been changed. After saving only, it will be changed. Okay. Now we wrote everything. This is the structure of a class. This is a declaration of the class. So if they ask like what is the declaration of the class, This is what the declaration of the class. Okay. Now I'm going to share my folder for you. How, what will happen? Let me open a command prompt. This is a manual compilation of a Java file. Please make sure that from afterwards, so we are not going to use a manual, because it is somewhat, I mean, takes more time to do that. So that's why I will use the tools itself, like NetBeans, Eclipse, IntelliJ, what we are using right now. So this is a user Dell. So this is a C drive. You know about this, right? How to go to the particular directory. Directory in the sense a folder. So there inside my desktop, I created a folder ECE. So I'm going to take that one. So first of all, if you want to do that, I'm going to share my folder. Wait a second. Where is the folder? Yeah. So this is my folder. I'm going to desktop. Inside the desktop, there is easy. See, here the file has been stored. The file has been stored over here. So I want this path, the path where the file is available. Just go to the address bar and click over here and copy the path over here. Okay. And then go to your command prompt. Please concentrate on this topic, how you are going to do manually. And CD. You know about the command line arguments, right? Sorry, command prompt, you know this, right? I don't want to tell you all these things. Only a simple words I will tell you. CD. Type a CD over here and space and paste over here. There you copied the path of the location of the file. Type CD and then paste it over here and then press enter, so that it will be inside this folder. Initially it was inside a Dell and now it is inside ECE. Here your program is available. Let me check whether the Java is available or not inside my PC. Type a keyword Java and then press enter. If you got all these files, then it is available. I have a 32-bit and 64, both I am having, so that you came to know that whether it is a 32-bit or 64-bit. So again, I'm going to know whether the path has been created or not. I'm already said to you, inside the environment variables, you are going to create the path. Type Java C and then press enter. So yeah, if this is like, if it shows like, here is Java C. Yeah. If after typing this, if it shows like there is no internal command available, then the path has not been set. If all these values are available, all these paths, this is like a generic call debugging. You don't need all these things. So if all these are printed over here, think like the path has been set. So for me, Java is available and Java compiler is also available. And now for running for compilation, first of all, we need to compile the program. So for that, we need to take Java C space. After the keyword Java C, there should be a space and then the name of the class, example.java. Again, I'm telling you, the program should be available inside the folder, and the folder's address, just copy the address over here and then after spacing a CD space and the name of the path, I mean the path where the program is available. So after that, you need to write this one, Java C, which we are going to compile, and then the name of the class and then press enter. So after creating, after C, there is no errors occurred. What has happened? Don't know about this. Okay. Yeah, let me share you my folder. See this one. After compilation, Java created a class file. See this one, it has been created at 9:30 and now itself 9:36. Just now it has been created. So after the compilation of this program, the class file has been created, which is understandable, or which we are going to get the values from this class, which you are going to get the output from this class. We are using this class right now. This is a class file. This is our program. This is a class file and this is our program. Now I'm going to share the command prompt again. So how to run the program? Type a keyword called Java and then space and the name of the class. What is the class name? Only example is enough. Do not mention like dot class. Okay, I'm not going to take that. After the compilation, dot class will be created inside the same folder where our program is available. And now we are going to run the program. So for running the program, just type a keyword Java and the name of the particular Java file. That's it. There is no extension over here. There is no extension over here. And then press enter. So this this is the output. This is the first Java program. Okay. I'm going to tell you again how to do this. So how to check it out? Let me go for again. Second time telling you, please note it down if required. CD and forward slash, and then press enter. It gives to the root node. This is the root one. This is the root directory. These are all the keywords. Please note it down. If you want to go for that, CD space and go to the address bar of the particular location where the file has been stored. I'm going where it is. Where it is. Yeah. I'm going to share this one. Wait a second. See this one. So here inside this folder, my program exists. I'm going to copy this address bar. I'm going to copy the path. We'll call it as a path. And then we go to the command prompt. Sir, please say again. Okay, I'm just explaining. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. These are the keywords I'm typing. Just I'm going to share it in the notepad. Wait a second. Just note it down if required. Just note it down because these are all the new things, right? So CD for adding your path inside a command prompt. If you want to go back to the root node, root directory, CD forward slash. This is for going to the specific path. Okay. And this is for the root directory. Okay. So note it down. These are all important for you to run it manually. Okay. CD in the sense of them, it is like a create directory. So in the sense we are going to use a specific path for that. Okay. And so many commands are available for the command prompt. That was different because it think like this, that was somewhat different language. These are the essential things you have to remember. Okay. CD, we are going for the specific path, and CD backslash for the root directory. Let me show you again for the command prompt. Yeah. So we went to the command prompt here. Again, I'm telling you. So first of all, you need to check whether the Java is available or not. Just type the keyword Java and then press enter. Okay, Java is available in your PC and it is installed successfully. And then if you want to check whether the path of a Java is available or not, just type the keyword javac and then press enter. Okay, it is available. If it shows all these things, think like the path has been set. And now if you want to go to your directory where the program is available, type the keyword CD and then space, already copied the path over there and then paste over here. And then press enter. Wait a second. And then press enter so that you will go to your particular directory or a folder or a package, whatever it is. So inside this folder, your program is available. And now how to compile the, first of all, you need to compile the program, Java C and then space example.java and then press enter. If there is any error, errors will be appeared over here. And then a class file will be created by the compiler. If you want to run that class, type a keyword Java and then type the name of the program and then press enter. Okay. Just remember all these things, what I said, and note it down if required. Okay. So the program has been done. It is a manual way, which takes, if the project consisting of 100 codes, I mean, 100 lines of a code, I mean, not 100 lines of code, 100 programs, 100 Java files are available. The manual way gives you more time and takes more time to do the project. So that's why each and every organization, they are using a tools like Eclipse, NetBeans. Let me tell you the words. The people or organizations are using mostly Intel, IJ, IDEA, NetBeans. Let me maximize this font size. As I'm deleting this one. Wait a second. Yeah. These are all the tools to work on a projects. So at the end of at the end of your project, okay, when will be your project? In the final year, right? Yeah. At the end of your academic career, and you are going to use build a project by using these tools only. NetBeans. Next one, Eclipse. This is also one of the tool, and now we are already using this one. So many tools are available. There is no need to worry. So this is very good one. Right now we are working. Eclipse is also good. In my organization, I mean, in a Cognizant, I used SDE, which is a standard development environment, completely based on Intel IJ IDEA. These two things are same. So the Cognizant for the Java, what they are working, they use SDE environment. This is somewhat different, but some features are available inside this. Both are same, Intel IJ IDEA and SDE. Outside, they won't allow us to download this. That's why I'm using this one. Okay. So better download this one. It is very useful for you. Okay. Now it has been done. We'll go to the tool itself. Not a tool, right? Yeah. Okay, now the program structure is understand for you. I think in my own words, I explained it to you. So completely think like Java consisting of a collection of classes. So application consisting of a collection of classes. Okay, so in the class is a template. Consider this as a template. Okay, and how you're going to access each and everything inside a class by creating an object for that. So you will get a clear idea after the examples like this. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about. Okay, no, I don't want to tell you about this one right now. We need to take an example for the primitive data types. So these are the primitive data types. And now I'm going to share IntelliJ IDEA tool. Where is the tool? Yeah, here it is. So just I'm going to delete this one again. I'm going to create the new program. So which is useful for you. Delete. Okay. So inside a folder. So if you want to create any project inside, if you downloaded this, I'm telling you, if you want to write it manually, it's your own. So there is a folder called SRC, which we call it as a source. Source in the sense the Java files are available over here. These are all the second year people programs for the Java only. So don't consider this. If you want to do that, just right click on it on the source folder and go for the new. And there is a package, and there is a package in the sense a folder. Just click on that. Just click like You are working on ECE. Okay, don't want to mention the capital letters. I'm going for the small letters. ECE Java. Okay, there are two words, right? I'm going to mention. This is a keyword. We should not use this. CRR.ECE. Yeah, it is good. So this is a package. CRR is one of the folder. Inside a folder, we are going to create one more folder, ECE. Inside this, we are going to write a program. Then click enter. So we created this one. And right click over here and then new Java class. So whether it is an interface or enum or annotation, whatever it is, we are not going to use this one. In your syllabus, interface and enum is available. We are going to discuss this later. And for the class name, what the class name? Class name starts with a capital letter. So now for this sake, we are going to discuss about the data types, right? I mentioned the capital D, DATA, data, and the second name should be a capital letter. Not should be a capital letter. You can write a small letter also, but if there are two words available inside one program, you have to take a capital letter over there. This is also a programming rule for the programmer's rule. Data types. So you have to mention capital T, YPES. So this is the word. Two words are available. There is no spaces available inside a C program. Spaces should not allowed over here. That's why to differentiate two words, data and these are the types, I mentioned a capital letter and make sure that it must be a capital letter. What all the things what you write, you don't mind, but it should be a capital letter. Okay. And then press enter. So it has been created inside this folder. It has been created inside this folder. Okay. So the public, what is an access control? And there is a class, a keyword, and this is the name of the class. So inside this, type public static void, main and string. There should be a single dimension and args, and it starts with a brace, curl brace, and press enter. So it is this one. See this one. It is easily identifiable. When you click on this, these two things has been highlighted, and these two things are highlighted, and there is a bar over here. You can identify in this manner where it ends, where it starts. So this is the bar for the main class, and when you click on this, only here it has been highlighted. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about the data types. So int, we are going to discuss about the primitive data types right now. Okay, integer. So how you are going to declare a variable? How you are going to declare a variable? Declare variable. Just int, and then you have to give the name for the variable. It's your user defined name. It's your name. So this is the primitive data type, and this is I. This is the declaration and initialization of the variable. How you are going to initialize it? I is equals to some 7. So this is the initialization, and this is the declaration. Let me type comment over here. Initialization of variable. Okay, so this is the initialization of a variable, and this is the declaration of a variable. There is no need to mention again the data type over here. Once it has been declared, you can use it. So directly, if you want to write it over here, directly you can assign over here. There is no need to worry. Just remove this one. Okay. Now, what I'm taking, int byte b is equals to, so okay, I'll take it as a 6. Okay, and next short s is equals to 4, and next long l is equals to. And one thing I want to tell you, why, sorry, this should be a small letter. And one thing I want to tell you, so when you declare as a long and you didn't mention, you just mentioned a number over here, it is considered as an integer only. You have to tell, allocate a memory for the, allocate a memory for the variable for this. It will be identified as a long only when you mention L over here. Again, I'm telling you, you have to mention either capital L or a small L over here to tell the compiler this is a long primitive data type. If you didn't mention anything over here, it will treat it as an integer only. Again, I'm telling you, if you didn't mention a capital L or a small L over here, it is considered as an integer. You should mention a capital L or a small L. It's your own wish. Let me comment over here like L or capital L. So after the session, you will get a video for this. I'm just uploading it to the CR CSC department. So from there, I'm going to share the link for you inside your group. I will share it to the CR and he will share it to you. Okay. There is no need to worry. Just go there and check it out. So this one, I'm going to use this for the whole numbers, right? These are all the whole numbers. We're not going to print everything inside a decimal. There is no decimal over here. So how to print this one? System.out.println. So what we discussed about this, the system.out consisting of a println statement, which ends with all ln. We can take a print also. If you don't want to print in the next line, just take a print is also enough. So I'm going to print it in the next line. So for all these things, I want to print I, right? So for this, I mention for integer. Okay, I'm going to take the save one. Just to save time, just is 950 I. So how you're going to print that? All the things inside a print statement is considered as a string only. So for that, string in the sense, there should be an addition symbol, which we call it as a concatenation. So there is a concatenation. If you want to print anything, it should be outside. It should not be inside a double quotes. You are going to add this to the, we are going to concat this to the value. What is the value for that? I is equal to 7. Okay, for the time's sake, just I'm going to copy this one. Paste, paste, and paste. Yeah. This is a B. This is S. And this is for L. Okay. Let me change this one also, like this is a for byte. This is for short. And this is for long. Okay. So now I'm going to print that. So inside this, we are having over here, I'm not going to click on this because everything will be executed. So I don't want to do that. Just right click over here and then run. But it is taking so much time. Run, run, run. Yeah. See this one. So everything is got printed. Okay, I need to mention this. Inside the same line, just I'm printing. If you mention ln, just I'm going to show the variation in between a print and a print ln statement. Ln. Again, I'm going to run this program. Run here, the keyword called run over here, and there is a data type main. Just click on that. See this one, integer 7. So this is the integer value and this is a byte and this is a short and this is a long. And tomorrow we'll discuss about the remaining primitive data types. Just here itself, I'm taking a low time because I'm explaining in detail because these are the basics, right? You have to learn it very slowly. So in the sense of a topics and all, we'll move very fast. That doesn't matter. For your understanding point of view, I'm doing this. Okay. And now itself, okay, tell me what are the doubts you have, whether it is installing a Java or installing this tool. First of all, practice manually and then go for a tool itself. Go for manual way. Okay, what are all the doubts? Let me know. Doubts? And the name of the class. So for the compilation point, this one, for running the program, for running Java program. So this is the one. Okay, just note it down and then try on your own at your home. Okay, if you are having a laptop or a PC. At what time the class will start? Another class?
Right now, sir.
Okay, then go on. You may leave the class. Okay, please note it down. I'm going to share you the link of this video so that you will get a good idea about this. Okay, there is no need to worry. Just try it. If you have any doubts, I will discuss in the last session. Okay, have a nice day. Goodbye.